so turn off the fire. Now, when you dump meat like that in the sink, it's greasy. What you want to do is run hot water down behind that grease to try and keep it broke up as it goes down. Otherwise, it's going to clog your sink a lot faster. Okay? So, next up, your pan. I use this. It's not expensive and it's very good. Okay? It's gluten-free, vegan, and propellant-free for all of you who are on the Save the Environment crusade. And I will skip the opinions that I hold on some of this. And of course, more tea for the Wookiee to keep him going. So we're going to spray the entirety of the pan. Make sure you got a good coat on it. If it's a little runny, that's fine too. Olive oil is not bad for you in any way. Whew, I got my belly. Just means things will be a little slicker tonight, that's all. Anyway. So, we got it all coated. And I know my stove is a mess. But it's okay. I will clean it in a few. So you got your pan sprayed and everything else. So take your noodles. As I said, I'm using the spaghetti ones. Okay. And you want a nice thick coating of noodles on the bottom. That's about half the noodles in the pan, or of the ones I cooked. I probably could have cooked both boxes and got away with it. So it's about half, roughly. I'm going to put a little bit more. I like more noodles on the bottom because when you go to pull it up, you want it as cooked and covered as you can. See, this is what happens if you miss a piece. Nothing wrong with it. It's just all stuck together. And that's fine too. Okay. Now, I'm going to put the beef back in my pan so that I can, or the meat back in my pan so that I can put it into the lasagna. And as I said, this is not professional as far as I have this beautiful kitchen that, you know, somebody paid for and assistants and all that. This is, I do this all by my lonesome. Okay? So, nice thick meat version of meat. Keep banging my pans. Now, see when you spread it out like that? You try to keep things as even Steven as you can. For one, you want every bite of your food, you want to have the full flavor. You don't want, you know, like in fast food, when you get a cheeseburger and you get the slice of cheese all on one side, or you get a burrito and the sour cream's at one end. You're not trying to do that at home. Okay? Next thing is your sauce. And you can go kind of generous with this layer because it's all going to sink down. I use 1/2 to 3/4 depending on what I'm doing. I am going to put a little water and rinse out the jar later. So, and as such, there'll be a little more sauce in there than as expected. Okay. So there's that. Now, we're going to open up our cottage cheese, because we're going to do a layer of cottage cheese. Because cheese. Must have cheese. I'm a cheese fiend. So, if the cheese in the world died, I think I would go a day later. Okay. I bought two of these. But I'm going to use at least half on the bottom. You want a nice, good, even coat. Now, everybody's going, ew, cottage cheese, right? Well, did you know that cottage cheese melts? It sure does. And it will melt, just like ricotta, into your layer. And with the rest of the cheese, man, I might end up using the whole damn jar here. Oh, why not? I bought two. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay. Now, try and get everything even. Even, Steven. I'll make sure all your stuff is, all your layers are even, so it cooks nice and evenly. And all that. Okay. I'm going to open up another jar. For the next layer. Okay, now you're going to use a package of provolone next, and you're going to cover the cottage cheese in provolone. Now, here you go. If you guys have big families, this would be a good dish for it. It depends on how well they eat, you know. The modern kids... Hi! The modern kids are concerned with their looks rather than eating, so just makes you wonder. I understand about being fat. I've been overweight my entire life, so don't even give me that. But that's what happens when you have the world's best cook at home, and you know, you have to suffer through all the goodness. Now, I have some mozzarella cheese here, and then we're just going to put a layer of mozzarella cheese on there. I'm going to do the best I can because this is frozen and didn't get to thaw out, so I'll do what I can with it. You know, my wonderful little Great Dane Xena is over here waiting for her cheese, but her bunch of cheese too. So, and she might get it. And as you can see, it's very frozen, which is fine. We're going to bake this anyway. Just means I need to add more time onto it to make sure that that layer melts. What, Xena? Mm-hmm. And of course, a good puppy Xena. Mm-hmm. Any of you who are dog owners or service dog owners will understand that, you know, saying no is a difficult thing, especially when they're giving you the puppy dog eyes. Alright, so that should be pretty much enough. The whole idea is just to cover the provolone and mozzarella. Alright. And that's all we're doing. I'm trying to keep the chunks to the outside because the outside of the pan will heat first. Therefore, they stand a better chance of melting. And then cheese butt over here. My little cheese butt. Okay, so there's that layer. Now, we're going to finish it off again with the same routine. Although I think I've run out of pan, but we'll see. Mom just caught Xena in the kitchen, so Xena's in a little bit of hot water with Mom. because her mom hates begging puppies.
Can't
I do
stand
too.
it.
I do too, but you know.
I have the dogs trained to the point that if I look at them and I see them begging, and I ask them, "Are you begging?" They look away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the look away game. Look it up.
All right. So, noodles? No noodles. Okay. Noodles. The rest of your meat. And please don't fear that this does cook down. And it will cook down and settle in. It's just the way some foods are. Okay? Meat's gone. McSaucery. Don't think I'll have to wash that out. That looks like more than enough. And especially since it's spaghetti, because spaghetti will allow it to cook down and settle and everything else. It won't hold anything up as far as volume wise goes. Okay. See, it's all nice and loose. Now, if you wanted to put some more pizzazz in it, in your lasagna, you could throw some pepperonis in there as a layer. Just remember the salt content. The Italian sausage is salty enough, in my opinion, especially when you combine it with the cheese. It's really, really bad. But I grew up without having salt. My dad couldn't have salt as I was growing up, so I tended to learn to accept that and to eat foods without salt. And now that I'm a little older, have a few more levels under my belt, as it were. Okay, now I'm going to be a little skimpy on the cheese because we have reached the top, and I don't want this stuff to run over, even though it will settle. It won't settle a whole lot, but it will settle. All right. Okay. And as you can see, what I'm doing is just like I did last time, just layering it up. Now I'm going to end up, for the first part of this baking that you're going to do, oh yeah, it's good and solid. The first part of this baking you're going to do is with your lid on. So this could get really interesting really quick. Okay, and this is the Tillamook, and it's the thick farm cut. Okay, and this stuff is divine. Just trying to make sure I got everything as covered as possible. Oh, why not? Now, my food, when I cook it, is not, if you're trying to diet and lose weight, Unless I specifically say so in the video, don't bother. You know, I do have diet recipes in my head that I will cook for you guys at a later date for those of you who are trying to lose the weight. But for right now, these are full-fledged, full flavor dishes. All right. So there's all of that. We're gonna put a lid on it. There you go. See, we got the lid. Oven set at 375, and then you just put it in. Okay. First bake is for about 45 minutes, and the last 15 minutes are with the lid off. All right. So I'm gonna set the timer through Siri, take a break, and sit down for a little bit and get some more pain pills because I've been up on my feet all day. And we will see you back later on. Now remember, 45 minutes with the lid on, 15 minutes with the lid off. The reason we pull the lid off is to make the cheese, the mozzarella cheese on top, nice and golden brown and looking good. All right. So I will show you in the last part of the video what it's supposed to look like when it comes out of the oven. All right. Ciao, everybody. How's it going? So remember the lasagna that's in your oven? I had a little bit of an oops because mine spilled over a little bit onto the oven. So, but here you go. This is what this monster should look like. Okay, monster lasagna. And as you can see by the dripping, that's what all the smoke is. It's just the juice that hit the hot pan. We have a gas oven instead of an electric, so
It tends to run hot too.
it sure does. But yeah, that's what
Either down.
that's what the lasagna looks like, and I'm going to dish some up because my baby is really, really hungry.
I've been waiting for this all day, guys. The last time. Oh. The last time.
Now I use the metal ones.
What is that?
Spatula.
Oh.
I use the metal spatula because it's strong enough to do what I need it to. Especially if you're going to cut your lasagna.
He outdid himself the last time he made this. And both of us ended up going back for seconds. Like, that's how good this lasagna is. So if you guys see this video and you follow it, do it because it is not a mistake.
There you go.
Good?
Yep, it's good.